Today, I'm taking a walk in the woods, going on that path here in Morton Grove. So, right now the sun is over there. My mask is on. Take it off. So, I'm beginning the trail. This is a very easy trail to navigate. It goes down by a river, the north branch of the Chicago River. Then it goes about 2 or 3 blocks up to the next street. I can circle across a bridge and come back. So that's my plan today. Gonna take a walk in this woods. I don't even know what it's called. It's a forest preserve in Morton Grove near my condominium. Hello, burp. I gotta watch where I'm going, or I'm gonna do some damage to myself. Hopefully, soon I'll be walking in there and I won't have to worry about the lighting. I don't feel like I have my walking shoes on. Boy, these shoes just aren't working that good. They're good. They're Air Jordans. They're expensive. But when it comes to footwear, expensive doesn't mean good for walking. It just means expensive because of the brand. In this case, it's Nike Air Jordans. People collect those things. Like some people collect dolls or quilts or whatever, stamps, coins. People collect everything, I guess. But when they collect those shoes, they can run the price of them up from $100 to $200, which they would cost at retail. They can pump that price up to over $1,000, which, like most collectibles, I have no idea how that makes any sense at all. Now, I'm on a horse path. We share this path with bicycles and horses. There's evidence that horses are on this path. No doubt about it. I sprayed myself up pretty good before beginning this walk, so we will see if that had the effect I was hoping for. Pretty weird. As I get older, man, I can hardly walk. And on this walk, in order to accomplish what I'm trying to do, I have to keep this up with my hand. That's something else I can't do. Now I am crossing the river. This is the north branch of the Chicago River. When it's not rainy season or there isn't a lot of water available, it's a very gentle river. When the rains come, it can come down here with quite a bit of force. And this river rages past. I'm on the bridge right now. And that's what the other side of the river looks like. So it's just a gentle, easy walk. It's a little hot today, so the walk is going to be on the warm side. It's about 85, I would guess, maybe 80, somewhere low to mid 80s, which I should be able to walk Here comes a group of walkers right now. So I suspect they won't want to be recorded, so I will not record them.
How you doing?
Great, how you guys doing?
Beautiful out, isn't it?
Yes, perfect.
This is an incredible station. And it's not that expensive.
That is my best effort at small talk. He said it's perfect out. While I would take exception to the description of the weather being perfect, it's pretty good compared to what we've had lately. At least we're in the low 80s, not the mid to high 90s. So I can at least walk. Now I'm walking along the side of the river, which I will show you. This is the path we're on. We don't have a lot of really good paths to walk on. Not much in the way of areas that have been preserved, but this is definitely an exception to that. This is a forest preserve, and the name preserve gives you the idea of what's been done here. This is a wooded area. I have that has been preserved. It's it's maybe a couple of 100 acres or more. I don't know how they measure that, but it's been basically either preserved as a natural occurring woods, or it's been somewhat restored to what it would have been like. Now, in addition to the heat being out to get me today, there's also a lot of plants out to get me, including the dreaded poison ivy, which this path on both sides has plenty of poison ivy, 2 or 3 different flavors of it. I have to be especially careful of poison ivy because I have a pretty good allergy to it, actually. And it's waiting for me. We are in the dry season right now, and in addition to that, we are in a drought. So the little banks that might have water trickling in it in more wet parts of the season are bone dry right now. I'm hoping that we get rain, of course, because I'm optimistic for the farmers. Not so much because I'm all that in support of the farmers, but because they provide our food. And if they fail, we fail. So sometimes as we are walking here, I will go rather quickly with my camera. Here comes some noisy people. But I just wanted to preserve a walk. And that's what I'm doing. Hopefully they'll turn back. Even though this is a dry season, there is lots of wild flowers growing, different colors. In the spring, this walk it was just covered with wildflowers on both sides. But they've given way now to, I suppose, seeding. I have to be careful and not walk too much off the trail, because in doing so, in walking off the trail, I walk into poison ivy. Like there's these little side trails. You might be able to see it there by the tree. If I didn't have such a high intolerance to poison ivy, I would walk down that path, but that would be a bad idea. Now they're back there. They're on bicycles. I'm hoping they're going to turn back. But I think they're still coming this way. So you can see you can definitely get the impression here that you're in the wilderness.
There aren't any bears here, right?
Just me, dudes.
Okay.
Enjoy your time.
Yep. There are no bears here, of course. There are deer. I think that's about the largest, most dangerous animals. There's raccoons, possum, all kinds of birds. Not seeing them today. Not that I want to see them. So the trail splits here. You can go that way, or you can go that way. I usually go that way. That's where the bicycle guys went. So I'm just going to walk out here. It doesn't go that far, but because no trail can go that far in here, because in truth this is not that big a woods. And when you get to the north end of it, you come to a street in Morton Grove, and across that street is a golf course. So a very thin strip of the forest preserve still exists, I think, on the side of that golf course, but mostly across the street it's private, it's golf course. So these trees are down, but they didn't fall down. I know that because if you look at the base of the tree, no beaver and no wind will cut like that. That's a saw. So this was probably taken out to clear this trail. I don't know. If I pick that sound up, I can get rid of it, but I've reached the age where I just have to let that stuff fly. I'm going to go back on my face again. The sun is, you can see here, the sun is just breaking through the trees, so that should give me some pretty good lighting, I would imagine. It's quite nice. we're coming up to the end of the forest preserve on the west side. The west side is owned by Commonwealth Edison, and they've put their power lines in. And they've done a nice thing. They've brought all that land underneath those power lines back to a native state. They brought all flowers and plants that would be indigenous here. But, well, we have to have power, I guess. So I won't say anything negative about them right now. I'll save that for a non-walking video. So right now we are coming out of the woods. As you can see, I'm in the full sun. And what we have on the other side, that was a fast turn. First of all, there are flowers like everywhere here. I think these are called Queen Anne's lace or something like that. And that's the woods. Over there behind me now, that's the forest preserve. There's the path leading into the woods. And then as you come around, as we come out, we see this. And I can't see how it's recording, so, because it's too bright for me to see my screen. We do have, I think these are called brown-eyed Susans, maybe? I don't actually know. But they are quite in abundance in this area. If you come here at the right time, this whole field lights up with those flowers. And you can see still remnants of the flowers here in this open area, which is where they run the power lines. I think I'm getting the sun there, so I'm gonna not go any higher. On this side, you can see all of these are native plants. That looks like a brown-eyed Susan, but I don't know if I've got it there in the screen, but it is purple. So I guess it'd be a purple brown-eyed whatever. Yeah, there's just all kinds of wildflowers here of different descriptions. I've not gone that way, but I would imagine that just leads out to a parking lot or something, but I haven't walked that way. I've walked this way, but I am not going to do it today because it's out in the sun. And it's hot enough so that the sun is not a pleasant addition to the walk. So I'm just backtracking now. I'm going to go down the little trail, go back down by the river. Down by the river where I intend to put my van so that I can start living there in the not too distant future. But I will be down by the river. So the trails give you a nice feeling of being in the wild. Certainly not. We are certainly not in the wild. This is like a little, well, it's like a big farm. Maybe a few hundred acres. And they are cultivating memories of times past, I would imagine. Don't know for certain. But if you could get in a Wayback Machine, a time machine, and go back to the time before white settlers came here, that the land was not unlike what we're looking at today. some of these trees are big enough that there's a possibility that they're a couple of 100 years old, maybe older, I don't know. Pretty sure that's an oak tree. Pretty sure means maybe. But yeah, you can see that these trees have, this little group of trees, cove or whatever they call them, quite mature. I assume I'm on the north side of the tree because that's moss. And we know that moss grows, I think, on the north side. That's probably too fast. So there's the top. Coming down. Don't want to make you motion sickness. I know the speed that I walk at won't cause you any problems, but I can still move the camera around a little too quickly. Probably half of the plants waiting there on the side of the road are some version of poison ivy. Not a good thing. So now we're walking back to the fork in the road, and we're going to do what Yogi Bear told us to do. He said when you come to a fork in the road, take it. I think the way the sun breaks through these trees is just such a calming and beautiful pattern. There's a few leaves falling back in there. I don't think it's early. I think it's too early for fall, but nonetheless, there's a few leaves falling here